What's going on, guys? Chuck here with another awesome Blu-ray purchase. First of all, let me just get this out here. I do apologize for if my voice isn't great. It's Labor Day weekend. It's been a long weekend, and in the process of all this, I have come down with a cold. So I'm trying to push through this. I didn't want to hold off on that. I really wanted to talk about this right away. I didn't want to wait, a couple days until it's got better. So I'm pushing through. So I do apologize if it just sounds a little nasally and whatnot. But anyway, so the movie I got talking about here is one that has been a part of, well, I don't want to say part of my life, but a part of my memory for decades, really since 1981. And of course, that film we're talking about is the film that Universal didn't want you to see, The Last Shark from 1981. Now, what is The Last Shark? Well, The Last Shark, to put simply, is more or less an Italian ripoff of Jaws, and in some ways Jaws 2. But not like a cruel Jaws or something. This is actually a fairly good one, I guess. One of the better of the ripoffs, in my opinion, from what I've seen. But it's notorious because this film got a release in the States and actually did very well in the short amount of time it had, so much so that Universal sued them for plagiarism. I guess it was like 2 attempts, but the second one went through for too many similarities to Jaws and Jaws 2. And of course, this is not too long before Jaws 3 is, they're working on Jaws 3D. It's coming out, so they don't want any confusion in the market or whatever the case may be. So, The Last Shark, or as it was known here in the States, Great White, this is how I recall it, had a very limited run, was pulled up the ears and kind of vanished, fell off the face of the earth. And I remember this because I actually saw Great White in the theater. And I remember seeing the ads for it and being really excited to go see the shark film. I can't remember the circumstances around it, but I remember going to see it. It was like, that's how I remember. Specifically, the one girl who got her leg bitten off. For some reason that scene always stuck with me. Although for some reason I remember it being a lot more visceral than what it is played on the screen. But yeah, so I saw Great White. I was like, well, as a kid, this was 1981, so I was like, 6? Thinking, this is really cool. I like the shark. And then it disappeared. And I could never find anything on this film at all. It was almost like a fever dream in a lot of ways. I was beginning to wonder, was this really a movie or had I imagined it? Because like I said, it was very hard to find. And it wasn't, many years, maybe until my 20s, someone actually was able to get some information about Great White, as I always knew it, and found out that it was, what its history was with Universal, why it was taken away, and all that. And I think it's funny because after that point, it seemed like now you can find it everywhere, streaming somewhere, here and there. It's become more well known. But I remember for the longest time, it was just like it never happened. I think maybe in the Psychotronic guide, I see it in there. I can't remember how it was listed. Probably listed on the Great White. See The Last Shark, something like that. But I don't think until I learned some of the history that I learned that his title was The Last Shark, or L'Ultimo Squalo, I think it is the Italian version. Around, was it 2013? Sorry. I saw online a company called Retrovision was making an official DVD release of this film, because I think you could buy. I saw it available on Amazon, but it was always a CDR, burned disc, whatever. So I never grabbed it. Obviously, it wasn't legit. But this company was putting out a legit copy of the DVD, and this was it. And it's pretty simple, but it was cool. It was widescreen. It had it. There was a few special features, nothing to go home about. A little bit talking about the lawsuit, and I think some talk about some of the memorabilia around Great White. But yeah, pretty bare bones. But it was still cool to have. This is the longest time. This was the only way that I had this film. Then just last year, I believe it was, late last year, a company never heard of, called Treasured Films, announced they were releasing on Blu-ray a like collector's edition of The Last Shark, and it blew my mind. It's like, wow, Blu-ray collector's edition, heck yeah. Of course, Film Treasures is a UK company, and this is strictly, just to let you know, this is strictly a Region B locked film. It's not region free; it's strictly Region B. So if you were to pick this up, you would need a region free player to watch it. Thankfully, I do. So, I placed this pre-order, like, I want to say late last year, and it was supposed to come out around earlier this year, but apparently got held up due to a mastering issue with the original disc pressings. So they had to kind of put a hold on that, and then they, wait for the new disc to come in, and then they finally shipped them out, and I just got mine the other day. And, they included actually the replacement disc as well. So that was really cool. And I applaud Treasure Films for being very transparent about what was going on. Because, for the longest time, I think it's a very, I think it's a small business. I don't know how well it's, how many people are there running it. Because it's a personal email I sent to, or I was getting back from when I reached out to them. And it took them a while to get back to me, but they get back and explain what was going on with the delay. But they were really friendly, really great. Like I said, their Facebook page put up the information what was going on. And they gave out, and I sent an email when this was releasing and when it was shipping, and it shipped, and I got it within a week because had to clear customs and all that. But and again, this was the limited collector's edition, which came with a few accoutrements, as it were. And I believe most of that stuff is still out. You can still get this. At least just the bare bones, or not, at least just maybe the standard edition without all the stuff to it. So let's take a look at The Last Shark. Here is the slip case. Yeah. Here's the side. We're looking here. The Last Shark. And this has got a lot more features, a lot of brand new features actually. That were for the first time ever, some interviews, really cool. Here's the Blu-ray with this same image as this DVD. And you see it is, certificate 12, so it's region B locked. Here's the back. And inside, we got, it came with also a little magnet. Very memorable scene in the film. They also, like I said, here was the replacement disc that came with it. This is actually the old disc. I switched out the disc, but it was cool. This came with it, and I got it. I wasn't even really aware that they were sending out a replacement disc along with this. I got the email saying there was a problem, but I didn't think they actually had more shipping out. I figured they just were waiting for new product to come in there and ship that out, but and still pretty cool. And included also is a booklet. Well, this has Great White, which is not true. There's one thing I was a little disappointed. Not disappointed, but that there wasn't, one of the reverse artwork or anything doesn't say Great White, or had a great white poster. Well, this was a nice one too, but there's one I really like that has a giant, huge shark, like about to swallow a woman on a raft, floating raft. It was really cool. But it's nice. There's some kind of reference to this like teaser poster of Great White, and you've got a great little booklet here of all kinds of interviews and essays or whatnot. So pretty cool. This does have reverse artwork, and it has the Italian title. But like I said, it'd be cool if somewhere on here they would have that other Great White poster. But that's okay. That's okay. I get this is a Region B thing. Maybe that's probably why. They don't want to put too much emphasis on that Great White. Maybe Universal still got a mat on for that. So put all this stuff back in. Now, when I got the package, the disc and the magnet are actually separate from the case, along with this poster, which I kind of wish that it folded up a little, like one more time, and stuck it in the case so I wouldn't have this loose poster hanging around. But what are you gonna do? So here's the poster, the new artwork, this is actually reminiscent of the Great White poster. So I'll give them credit for that. They're trying to, homage that without actually doing it, but it's still pretty cool. And here's, I think that might be German or Austrian, something like that. They're Weissen Killer. So, but as it stands, yeah, this is only fold. I have nowhere else to kind of put this right now, so I'm gonna figure that one out. So special features on here, we've got presenting a widescreen from high definition master, uncompressed English and Italian DTS HD master audio, new audio commentary with Eugenio Ercolani and Troy Howarth, new Great White Enzo interview with director Enzo G. Castellari, new High Tide interview with actor Massimo Vanni, new Big Fishes in the Sea Full of Sharks interview with producer Maurizio Amati, new Blood Tie interview with producer Ugo Tucci, new Unfamiliar Waters Castellari Out of Action video essay by Mike Foster, new Squally, a brief introduction on the Italian killer animal current, a video essay by Eugenio Ercolani, an image gallery, trailer, and TV spots, reversible sleeve featuring 2 artwork choices. Again, I apologize. I butchered those Italian names. I'm sure I did, especially with this cold. And the features are all in Italian, at least the interviews. The commentary is English. And I listened to the commentary, and it's interesting. It's a lot of history on Enzo Castellari throughout that, and some of his, more, I think, on him than the actual film itself. I said you have an interview with him, which is really cool that he's still alive. You can get that interview. Like I said, but all the other, it's a producer, a stuntman, all things, they're all in Italian, subtitled. The video essays are pretty interesting. This is an essay on Castellari's, primarily work in action films, and had a few dipped his toes in the horror a little bit. So they kind of talk about that. It's about 20 minutes or so. It's very interesting. And then the other video essay, just again talking about Italian horror films or animal films, and that kind of thing. It's actually a pretty interesting slight history and on that. So I did dig those a lot. As far as the picture goes, it's I didn't put it in the DVD. I had enough energy to get through all this. So I'm really pushing it. It looked good. I think it was a little, the colors maybe a little muted, a little flat, but I think that's how it was filmed. They kind of talk about that a little bit in the commentary too. So it's nothing that's really going to stand out. Again, it is a Blu-ray. And I'm watching this on a region-free Sony player, so it's not my 4K, so it's not upgrading at all. For the record, I did try to pop it in my 4K player to see if maybe it would sneak by region-free. From there, I thought I almost did it, but no. So it is in the Sony, again, it is region-locked. I put it in the region-free player, so strictly a Blu-ray. But I mean, it was good. It wasn't totally washed out. I mean, there's color. It's good. I mean, all the effects still look good and fake. The shark popping his head out of the water still looks good and cheesy. The gore's there. It's fun. It's still fun. So in sound, just mono. I did kind of go back and forth between the English and the Italian. The Italian was really loud. I don't think I actually like the Italian. Usually, a movie like this, sometimes I like watching it in its native language and read subtitles. I don't think I like the Italian on here. I think that soundtrack wasn't too good, a little too booming. So stick with the English dub. Plus, you get Vic Morrow and James Franciscus, and especially Vic Morrow doing his best Quint impression. I mean, if anything, you could say that it was Vic Morrow doing his Quint cosplay that really made this stick out to Universal and say, "Hey, wait a minute, that looks too familiar." Because the rest of the film was kind of derivative. It's the Shark Attack movie time it does, and it's. I mean, obviously there's certain beats that are very similar, but if you want to talk about similar, look at them like Grizzly. Okay, Grizzly is a blatant Jaws ripoff. Okay, I mean, you even got the 3 characters all representing, Roy Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw in there. The only difference is it's a big grizzly bear. It's on ground. So land, no one thinks about it. But it's way more, I think, beat for beat retelling of Jaws than The Last Shark is. Blades, a comedy horror film about a possessed lawnmower in a golf course, is more beat for beat a ripoff of Jaws than this. So, again, I think it was just Universal saying, "Hey, we have Jaws 3D coming out. We don't want to, the audience confused, and that guy looks too much like Robert Shaw." That's mainly what I think did it for them. And in the end, no one liked Jaws 3, so it didn't really matter. So yeah, again, for me, I'm glad to have this. It's one I've wanted. Well, I mean, I've had it, but yeah, it's a memory for me. Like I said, as a kid watching this and then just vanishing in the history and not knowing if it was even real for the longest time, and knowing I've got a really good, nice copy and some good special features here. This is an actually really nice release. Again, it is Region B, but if you got a Region B player, that's not a problem. Which, if you don't have a Region B player, get one because you're missing out on stuff like this. But I am happy to get this. I really like this film for all its faults, and there are plenty. But it's still a very, very fun watch. You won't watch this movie and be bored. You'll watch it and have a lot of fun. It's got the opening sequence of the windsurfing, and the little rock medley or song playing will stick in your mind. It's really good. It's fun. So that is it for this. If you enjoyed this, click thumbs up, share, subscribe, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you've seen The Last Shark or Great White, or whatever you recall it as, or just say hi. I'll always take highs. Until next time, this is Chuck saying I will see you on the other side.